Hi family, welcome back to the channel. I pray each and every one of you guys is doing well today. So I'm back with another kingdom marriage message for you guys, and it's coming from the song I Don't Want to Wait. I Don't Want to Wait, and it's by Paula Cole. And so I woke up with this song this morning, and it's quite interesting. You know, even though this song is about, you know, a man who went to war and came back and, you know, just kind of didn't really live his life too much, I believe that there's a message here in regards to kingdom marriage, right? So it goes like this. So open up your morning light and say a little prayer for I. You know that if we are to stay alive, then see the peace in every eye. It says, I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I want to know right now, what will it be? I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Will it be yes, or will it be sorry? You guys know this song. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I want to know right now, what will it be? That song. It says, he showed up all wet on the rainy front step, wearing shrapnel in his skin. And the war he saw lives inside him still. It's so hard to be gentle and warm. The years pass by, and now he has granddaughters. It says, oh, so breathe a little more deeply. All we have is this moment. And I don't want to do what his father and his father and his father did. I want to be here right now. Okay? Very interesting song, you know, but I do believe that what the message is in regards to kingdom marriage is that, you know, your person don't want to wait anymore. And this song and another song that I'm about to do, and the song that I did about Bon Jovi, It's My Life, I mean, they're all correlated. And what it is you need to take your life back. All right, don't wait. Life is short. Life is fragile. Okay, you never know. You're here today, you're gone tomorrow. Okay, and it's almost like your person is realizing that, you know, life is short, and they don't want to wait. They don't want to delay on this promise. They don't want to delay on their destiny, because you are part of their destiny. And the longer you stay away from destiny, the longer you stay away from God's promise over your life. That was weird. Okay. Come back. The longer you stay away from God's promise over your life, is the more miserable you're going to be. You're going to be super miserable. Okay? And not just even when it comes on to relationships, but even when it comes on to a path, a career path. You know, whenever you're not walking in your true calling, you're going to live an unfulfilled life, and you're going to be miserable. All right? So yeah, you know, it's like your person is saying they don't want to wait. They don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Exactly. You don't want to get to the end of your life and wonder, shoulda, coulda, woulda, or be in regret. What if I had made that move? What if I had done that? What if I had connected with this individual? What if I had walked in my calling, in my destiny? What if I had heed to the conviction that God has given me? What if, you know? You don't want to wait. And it says, I want to know right now, what will it be? Will it be yes, or will it be sorry? You know, I feel like there's this fear. I feel like there's this fear when it comes on to, you know, your person there's this fear of being rejected by you. There's this fear that you're not going to accept them. There's this fear that you'll cast them away because they're kind of rough around the edges, or whatever the case is. Like, mind you, if you're dealing with a prodigal, they're gonna be rough around the edges. Remember, the prodigal was eating in the pig's pen. The prodigal was eating the same food as the pigs, and I can assume by the time when he went back to his father's house, he wasn't the cleanest. He wasn't Mr. Debonair type of thing. Like, he he probably wasn't smelling the greatest, you know. I mean, disheveled, rough around the edges. I mean, yeah, that's what a prodigal looks like. You maybe had his sandals were torn, or maybe he wasn't even wearing any shoes, you know. I mean, this person wasn't like put together necessarily, right? And so there may be some fear of like rejection. There may be some fear that you won't accept them. There may be some fear that they're not good enough for you, you know. So it says, yeah, I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Will it be yes, or will it be sorry? Yeah, is it gonna be yes? And that's a question for you guys. You know, if your person was to come to you right now, will it be a yes on your part? And they want to know that, you know. It says he showed up all wet on the rainy front steps. So yeah, don't be surprised if this person just show up looking disheveled. Yeah, he showed up all wet. And it says with shrapnel in his skin. I was like, what is shrapnel? It says wearing shrapnel in his skin. I was like, what is that? So I had to look it up. It says fragments of bomb shell or other object thrown out by explosion. Okay, so you know, this song is about a man who went to war, and so he came back with fragments of bombshell in his skin. And what I feel like that represents in regards to your spouse, because maybe your spouse didn't go to war, or maybe some of your spouse did, but what the fragments in the skin is like from all the trauma they've been through, from all the stuff that they've seen, from all the things that they've endured, you know, they carry that with them. Okay, they carry those, almost like I don't want to say baggage, but they carry that. It's a scar, it's a wound, if you may. And so yeah, they're less than perfect. So don't be surprised if they come to you less than perfect. I'm just gonna use that word, you know, not the most perfect individual, you know, not all the way put together, you know, still some things that they're working on, you know. And I do believe that during that time, during that separation, you know, for some of you guys, you were married to this person. I do believe that during that separation, God was working on them, and God was working on you. All right, God was working on both of you guys. So yeah, by the time they come back emotionally, they'll be better. Spiritually, they'll be better. Okay, but they're not going to be perfect, especially if this is a prodigal. All right, so that's really the message. The message is, I don't want to delay this. I don't know what life is going to bring my way. I don't know how life is going to go. I don't want to wait another minute. I want to live my life despite what people says, because they might have a lot of people in their ear too. They might have a lot of people in their ear, and they're like, despite what people say, I want to live my life. Life is too short. I don't want to wait till my life is over. I'm getting older. Every single day you're getting your step in the older direction. Okay, every day you're aging, whether you look like it or not, you know. And every time you delay, you're delaying the process. You're delaying the promise. You're delaying a life of fulfillment. You're delaying God's will for your life, you know. So they don't want to wait any longer. They want to know, is it going to be yes, or are you going to just turn your back on them? All right, so that is the message for you guys. You know, I'm excited to see how this all play out when it comes on to many of you guys. You know, I have done quite a few one-on-one session with you guys, and I'm telling you, the stories are all very similar. So hey, listen, if you need to talk to someone about your situation, you're standing for your kingdom spouse, you're standing on your marriage promise, please book a session with me. Email will be in the description below. But yeah, don't hesitate to book a one-on-one session. But nevertheless, you best believe that God still, if he promised you marriage, If God promised you marriage, I promise you that his promise will come to fruition. All right, friends, talk to you soon.